If you truly want to live a life where no one dares to disrespect you, it starts with who you are, not what you say. Respect is not demanded with loud words. It is commanded through presence, action, and inner strength. The way you carry yourself, the energy you project, and the boundaries you set will decide how people treat you. If you want people to respect you, the first and most powerful step is to respect yourself. Many people go through life waiting for validation from others, hoping that someone will finally recognize their worth, but that is the wrong way around. The truth is simple: people take cues from how you treat yourself. If you devalue yourself, if you doubt your worth, if you lower your standards just to be accepted, the world will mirror that same attitude back to you. Respect starts within, and until you honor yourself, no one else will. Self-respect is not arrogance. It is not about thinking you are better than others or walking with an inflated ego. True self-respect is about knowing your worth, setting standards for your life, and refusing to accept anything that compromises your dignity. It is about looking in the mirror and being proud of the person staring back at you, not because you are perfect, but because you honor who you are and what you stand for. Think about it: if you constantly belittle yourself, if you allow negative self-talk to dominate your mind, if you criticize yourself more than you celebrate your progress, you are training the world to treat you in the same way. People sense insecurity. They notice when someone doesn't believe in themselves. And sadly, many people will take advantage of that weakness. But when you walk into a room with quiet confidence, when you hold yourself with dignity, when you show that you value your own presence, others have no choice but to match that energy with respect. Self-respect also shows up in the decisions you make. What you tolerate, what you accept, what you walk away from, these are all reflections of how much you value yourself. For example, if you allow someone to consistently waste your time, talk down to you, or cross your boundaries without consequence, you are sending a silent message: I don't value myself enough to demand better. But when you draw the line, when you protect your time, energy, and emotions, you are saying, I respect myself, and you must respect me too. That silent statement creates a shield of authority around you. Another important aspect of self-respect is discipline. The way you live your daily life reflects how much you respect yourself. Do you keep your promises to yourself? Do you take care of your body, your health, your goals? Or do you neglect them because you don't believe you deserve better? Discipline is the highest form of self-respect. When you set goals and work toward them consistently, you are telling yourself that your future matters. And when others see your discipline, they cannot help but respect you, because discipline is rare and admirable. Self-respect also influences how you communicate. When you speak with clarity and confidence, people listen. But when your words are hesitant, apologetic, or filled with self-doubt, people subconsciously dismiss you. Respect begins in the way you speak about yourself. If you constantly say, I'm not good enough, I don't deserve this, or I can't do it, people will agree with you. But if you affirm your worth, if you express yourself with strength, if you stand by your words, people will respect your voice. At its core, self-respect is about alignment. Aligning your values with your actions, your words with your truth, your boundaries with your worth. When you live in alignment, you radiate authenticity, and authenticity commands respect. People may not always like you, but they will respect you because they sense that you are not easily swayed, manipulated, or diminished. So, if you want a life where no one disrespects you, start with yourself. Value your time, protect your boundaries, speak with strength, keep your word, honor your body and mind, carry yourself with dignity. The moment you respect yourself fully, you will discover that the world has no choice but to respect you too. Long before your words reach someone's ears, your body language has already spoken. The way you stand, the way you walk, the way you look at people, these things communicate more about you than your voice ever could. In fact, studies show that the majority of human communication is nonverbal. That means people judge your confidence, your authority, and your strength not by what you say, but by how you carry yourself. If you want people to never disrespect you, then your body language must demand respect. Think about the last time you saw someone walk into a room with their shoulders slouched, eyes down, and movements hesitant. What impression did they give? Most likely, they appeared insecure, nervous, or weak. Now compare that with someone who enters the same room with their head held high, Shoulders back, steady steps, and calm confidence in their eyes. Without speaking a word, that person commands attention and respect. Why? Because body language is a reflection of self-belief, and people respond to that energy instantly. Your posture is one of the first things people notice. Standing tall with your shoulders back communicates strength and self-assurance. On the other hand, slouching communicates insecurity or defeat. If you want people to treat you with respect, practice good posture everywhere you go. Walk into a room like you belong there, not with arrogance, but with quiet authority that says, I know who I am. Eye contact is another powerful tool. Many people either avoid eye contact out of nervousness or overdo it in a way that feels aggressive. The balance is in maintaining calm, steady eye contact that shows you are confident, present, and unafraid. Looking someone directly in the eye when you speak tells them, I am not beneath you, and I am not intimidated by you. But when you look away too often or drop your gaze, you send the opposite message. Even the way you move communicates volumes. Quick, jittery movements suggest nervousness. Dragging your feet suggests laziness or lack of energy. Purposeful, controlled movements, on the other hand, suggest discipline and confidence. For example, when you shake hands, do it firmly. When you sit upright. When you walk, move with intention. These subtle details are what separate people who are respected from people who are ignored. Your facial expressions matter as well. A calm, composed expression communicates control and stability, while constant frowning or nervous smiling can make others sense weakness. Learning to maintain a neutral but confident expression is a powerful way to show that you are in charge of your emotions. People naturally respect those who appear emotionally grounded because it signals strength under pressure. One of the most overlooked aspects of body language is space. How you use your personal space tells people how you see yourself. If you constantly shrink into corners, avoid taking up space, or fold your arms tightly around you, you are subconsciously saying, I don't deserve to be here. But when you stand comfortably, own your space, and move with calm authority, you signal confidence. You don't have to be loud to be noticed. Your presence alone will command attention. Here's the truth: disrespect often comes when people sense weakness. If your body language shows fear, insecurity, or doubt, there will always be someone who tries to take advantage of it. But when your body language is strong, calm, and controlled, most people won't even attempt disrespect. They will recognize immediately that you are not someone to be played with. So train yourself every day to project strength through your body language. Stand tall, make steady eye contact, move with purpose, use your space, and control your expressions. Over time, this will become natural, and you will find that people treat you differently. They will listen when you speak, they will notice when you enter a room, and most importantly, they will respect you without you ever asking for it. Most people believe that respect comes from speaking louder, arguing harder, or always having the last word. But the truth is the opposite. The most respected people in the world are not the ones who talk the most, but the ones who know when to remain silent. Silence is not weakness. It is one of the greatest displays of power. When you master the art of silence, you remove yourself from the games of others, and you command respect without even trying. Think about it. When someone insults you, mocks you, or tries to provoke you, what do they really want? They want a reaction. They want you to explode, argue, defend yourself, or get emotional. The moment you do, you give them control. You hand over your peace of mind and allow them to dictate your state. That is why people who react easily often lose respect. But when you remain calm and silent, you deny them what they crave. You show them that their words have no power over you. And that silence, that self-control, commands far more respect than any angry outburst ever could. Silence also demonstrates confidence. Insecurity feels the need to prove itself constantly through endless explanations, defensiveness, or over-talking. True confidence doesn't need to prove anything. It doesn't need to respond to every challenge. It knows its worth without validation. When you choose silence, you are saying, I don't need to lower myself to this level. My dignity is above this conversation. That message is far louder than any words. Another powerful aspect of silence is that it creates mystery. When you don't reveal everything, when you choose your words carefully, people begin to wonder what you're thinking. They become curious, even cautious. And curiosity often leads to respect because people respect what they don't fully understand. By speaking less, you allow your presence, your actions, and your energy to speak for you. This is why wise people are often admired. They don't waste words, so when they do speak, their words carry weight. Silence is also a form of emotional discipline. Anyone can shout back when they are insulted. Anyone can argue endlessly to defend themselves, but not everyone has the strength to remain calm, collected, and unmoved. That requires mastery of self, and when people see that you cannot be shaken easily, they begin to respect you deeply. They realize that you are not controlled by emotions, and that stability makes them think twice before trying to disrespect you again. This doesn't mean silence is always passive. Sometimes silence is active. It's a weapon. For example, when someone disrespects you in a conversation and you simply pause, look them in the eyes, and say nothing, the silence itself becomes uncomfortable for them. They begin to feel the weight of their own words. In that moment, your silence speaks louder than any comeback ever could. Of course, silence must be balanced. There are moments when you must speak to defend your boundaries or assert your stance, but the key is that silence should always be your first response. You don't rush into arguments, you don't explain yourself to everyone, and you don't waste energy on those who don't deserve it. Instead, you use silence to filter out what is worth your attention and what is not. So remember, this silence is not weakness, it is the highest form of strength. It is self-control, it is discipline, it is authority. By mastering silence, you show the world that you cannot be provoked, manipulated, or diminished by cheap words. And when people realize that they cannot control you with disrespect, they will have no choice but to respect you instead. One of the biggest reasons people face repeated disrespect because they fail to set boundaries the very first time it happens. What you allow once, you silently encourage forever. People are quick to test limits. If you let disrespect slide even once, they learn that you will tolerate it, and they will do it again. But if you calmly and firmly set a boundary the first time, you establish a standard that others will not dare to cross again. Boundaries are not walls to keep people out. They are rules to protect your self-respect. They define what you will and will not accept in your life. Without boundaries, people will treat you however they please. With boundaries, you teach them how to value you. And the sooner you make your boundaries clear, the stronger the respect you command. Think about it. If someone makes a hurtful comment about you and you laugh it off, what message are you sending? You are telling them it's okay. If a person constantly interrupts you and you never address it, you're telling them your voice doesn't matter. If a friend or partner mistreats you and you stay silent, you are signaling that you will accept poor treatment. The world doesn't respond to what you deserve. It responds to what you demand, and boundaries are your way of demanding respect. The first time someone disrespects you is the moment that matters most. If you ignore it out of fear of conflict, you pay a bigger price later. But if you calmly assert yourself, you show strength. For example, if a colleague speaks to you rudely, instead of snapping back or staying silent, you can simply say, "I don't allow people to speak to me in that tone. If you want to talk, let's do it respectfully." This is not anger. It's clarity. And clarity builds respect faster than aggression ever could. Boundaries also protect your time and energy. People will try to drain your focus, ask too much of you, or cross lines in your personal space. If you do not set limits, they will assume you are okay with it. Respecting yourself enough to say no is one of the most powerful boundaries you can create. Remember this, every time you say yes to something that disrespects your time, you are saying no to your own growth. The people who truly value you will respect your no. The ones who don't were never meant to stay in your life anyway. Setting boundaries is not about being rude or cold. It is about being firm, consistent, and clear. The key is to express them with calm authority, not emotional outbursts. When you set a boundary with anger, people focus on your reaction. But when you set it with calmness, people focus on your strength. A calm boundary leaves no room for debate. It simply becomes the rule of how you expect to be treated. Consistency is everything. If you enforce boundaries sometimes but ignore them other times, people will test you constantly. But when you remain consistent, even in small things, people learn quickly that you are serious. And once they know you are serious, they respect you without needing reminders. Here's the truth: boundaries are not selfish. They are necessary. They don't push good people away. They filter out the ones who don't belong. They don't create distance. They create respect. The moment you start enforcing boundaries, the first time disrespect shows up, You send a clear message: I respect myself, and I expect you to do the same. So don't wait until it's too late. Don't let disrespect repeat itself before you act. Set your boundaries immediately, calmly, and firmly. Do it the first time, and you'll rarely have to do it a second time. Respect is not built in a single moment. You don't earn it with one powerful speech, one confident stance, or one act of courage. True respect is built over time, and the foundation of that respect is consistency. People may admire you once for something impressive you did, but they will only respect you deeply if you show up with strength, discipline, and integrity every single day. Consistency means living by your values, not occasionally, but continually. It means doing what you say, following through on your commitments, and proving with your actions that you can be relied upon. When people see that your behavior matches your words over time, their respect for you becomes unshakable. Words can inspire, but consistency convinces. Think of the people you respect most. Chances are it's not because they impressed you once, but because they've lived in alignment for years. A leader who shows discipline only on good days, a friend who keeps promises only when convenient, or a person who stands for their values only when it's easy. Such people may earn temporary approval but not lasting respect. But when someone consistently walks their talk, whether in private or in public, people recognize that they are genuine, and genuine people are respected without question. Consistency also builds trust. Respect and trust are deeply connected. If people cannot predict how you'll react, if you are stable one day and reckless the next, they may fear you or tolerate you, but they won't respect you. Respect grows when people know they can count on you to remain steady, no matter the situation. Even your silence, your body language, and your boundaries mean nothing if you don't maintain them consistently. One slip into weakness may not ruin you, but repeated inconsistency will. Another powerful aspect of consistency is discipline. People admire those who control themselves, who work toward their goals every day without excuses. When you consistently take care of your health, your growth, and your commitments, people notice, even if they don't say it. Discipline is rare, and what is rare is respected. For example, if you consistently show up to work prepared, consistently respect others, and consistently demand respect for yourself, you create a reputation that shields you from disrespect. People won't dare treat you lightly because they know you've proven yourself too many times to be ignored. Consistency also applies to boundaries. Setting a boundary once is powerful, but if you let it slide the next time, people lose respect for you. Consistency means holding the same standard every time, whether it's easy or uncomfortable. When people know you will not bend your principles, they stop testing you. In fact, they begin to admire you for being someone who cannot be swayed. Of course, consistency doesn't mean perfection. Everyone makes mistakes, and people will still respect you if you fall, as long as you consistently rise again. What matters is not never failing, but always showing up, always returning to your standards, and never abandoning your principles. Consistency is about proving that your values are not temporary choices, but permanent parts of who you are. When you live with consistency, something powerful happens. Your reputation speaks before you do. People hear your name and immediately connect it with strength, reliability, and integrity. They respect you without hesitation because you've proven yourself through countless small actions over time. That respect cannot be faked, and it cannot be taken away. It is earned brick by brick through consistency. So if you want a life where disrespect never touches you, focus less on dramatic moments and more on daily habits. Be consistent in how you carry yourself, how you treat others, how you protect your boundaries, and how you pursue your growth. Over time, this consistency becomes your identity, and your identity becomes untouchable. And when people see that you cannot be shaken, their respect for you becomes unshakable too. Respect is not a one-way street. If you want others to respect you, you must also learn how to give respect. But here's the key: respect must be given wisely. Blindly respecting everyone without discernment can lead to disappointment and even disrespect in return. True power lies in offering respect in a way that uplifts others without lowering yourself. When you master this balance, people admire your character and, in turn, give you stronger respect. Many people misunderstand respect. They think respecting others means being submissive, always agreeing, or allowing people to walk over them. That is not respect. That is weakness. Respect, in its true form, is about recognizing the dignity of others while standing firmly in your own dignity. It is about showing kindness, fairness, and courtesy, but never at the cost of your self-worth. When people see that you treat others well without compromising your own strength, they see you as balanced, wise, and respectable. Giving respect wisely also means understanding that not everyone deserves the same level of access to you. Respect does not mean tolerating toxic behavior. It does not mean giving your time, energy, and trust to people who continually disrespect you. Respect is not blind. It is selective. You can be polite to everyone, but you reserve deeper respect for those who earn it through their own actions. This selectiveness shows people that your respect is valuable, and anything valuable is respected in return. Think about the leaders, mentors, or role models you admire most. They don't disrespect others, but they also don't waste their energy respecting what is unworthy. They treat people fairly, but they know how to set standards. That's why people look up to them. Respect is not about lowering yourself to lift others. It's about lifting others while remaining unshaken in your own strength. Another important aspect is reciprocity. When you give respect, people naturally feel inclined to return it. For example, when you listen attentively, others are more likely to listen when you speak. When you acknowledge someone's effort, they are more likely to acknowledge yours. Respect creates a cycle. The more you give it strategically, the more it comes back to you. But remember, the key word is strategically. Respect given to the wrong people will only be abused, while respect given to the right people will multiply and strengthen your influence. Giving respect wisely also helps in conflict. When you disagree with someone but still treat them with courtesy, you gain authority. Instead of escalating hostility, your respect disarms them and positions you as the bigger person. People may not always like you, but they will respect the way you carry yourself in difficult situations. It shows emotional intelligence and maturity, qualities that instantly raise your respect in any room. Respect is also powerful when combined with humility. No matter how strong, confident, or successful you are, showing respect to others, even those beneath you in status, makes you admirable. People notice when someone with power still treats others with kindness. That humility doesn't weaken your authority, it strengthens it. Because while fear may force temporary compliance, respect earned through fairness and humility lasts a lifetime. At the same time, giving respect wisely means respecting yourself enough to walk away when needed. Some people will never value your respect, no matter how much you give. In those cases, withdrawing your presence is the ultimate act of self-respect. It sends a message that says, I do not beg for respect. I give it to those who deserve it, and I walk away from those who don't. That decision alone makes people think twice before disrespecting you. So remember this balance. Respect everyone at a basic human level, but reserve deeper respect for those who earn it. Be kind but not naive, humble but not weak, generous but not careless. When people see that your respect is valuable, rare, and wisely given, they will treat you with even greater respect in return. And once you gain that kind of respect, it becomes nearly impossible for anyone to disrespect you again.